Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Doc's Autos. I hope you are doing well, and we've got some new fun things today. Well, one of them is still on the UPS truck, and it's not that exciting. It's just a can of orange paint for the wheels for Bob. But the other fun thing here, we have our new toy. So, FOOKOO if you don't like this video. Let's get my drone out of the way. Getting that out for some projects. So we've got our FOOKOO 7-inch video display we're going to put in the back of Bob because he did not come with a backup camera. So I'm not terribly upset with that because we get to pick our own camera, so that's kind of nice. So after poking around Amazon for quite a while, reading some reviews, doing this one-handed is challenging. This guy here appears to be the winner, and there are some other reviews from folks who had put it in their skid steer as well. So that's what I'm planning to do. And just go through and unbox the stuff here. So we've got, I believe it's 60 feet, yeah, 15 meters of cable to run from the camera up to the display. We've got a box full of wires. We've got leads actually for 2 cameras to come in, and then of course power wires. We have your hot, your ground, and then this green one here is going to be your trigger for reverse. And I'm just not planning to wire it into the reverse of the joysticks because I don't want to. I want it to be on all the time. So we're just going to wire this to hot as well, so it is always on for us. I'm going to wire it up to the radio circuit. While there's no radio in the in Bob, it does have the wiring, so we'll just do that and be good. We have a couple of different mounts. It's like a suction cup sticky mount, but the one I'm interested here is the bracket for mounting it on inside of the cab itself, and I'll show you where that's going to go. And it looks like we've got a anti-glare ring as well to go over it, so that will be nice to see if we can fit that in there as well. And a remote. Yeah, I'm going to use a remote in the Bobcat. Anyways, here's the camera itself. And it is a high-def camera, should be 1280. And here we go. So it does have a bunch of IR sensors for low light. Let's see, it's a pretty sturdy construction. It's all metal, it's not plastic like some of the cheaper ones online I saw. Again, you've got your sealed connector here. This plugs into the wiring harness, and then this boot actually goes over the entire connector here to help keep moisture and dirt and crud out of it. So what we need to do next is go ahead and get Bob and bring Bob. What we need to do next is go ahead and get Bob and bring him in the garage. But Ruby is in the way here, so we've got to get her out of the garage. You are evicted. And of course she's dirty, so definitely needs a wash. Oh, springtime, Minnesota, dirt road, German car, they don't mix, but hey, we do what we do. So we'll go ahead and get Ruby out of here, go down and bring Bob up and start looking at this. Okay, I'm back. So I lied. I'm sorry. I thought before I went ahead and got Bob, brought him up here, I would check it out, unbox it, see if it works before I go ahead and bring Bob up here, move stuff around, because it's such a hassle to go 200 feet down the driveway. Anyways, I brought out my good old trusty Radio Shack power supply, 12 volts, and just loosely patched the wires together. And if I read the directions, actually, look right there, if you read them, you don't need the green wire unless you're hooking it up to your reverse source. So we just need the red and the black, and it's always going to be hot. So we'll go ahead and flip on Mr. FOOKOO. And look at that, there we go. There's me filming. Hey, we're everywhere, look at that. The camera has really good quality, so far that I've noticed. Anyways, it's not blurry, it's not over saturated. I don't see a lot of fisheye on it. Out towards the very end, there's a little fisheye. You can see if I get way out by the end. But by and large, it's a pretty clear picture, pretty reliable picture. So this is going to be just great for behind the Bobcat. So again, nice thing if we turn everything off, cut the power, turn it back on, you see this nice little logo. That's kind of neat. Otherwise, you've got a menu here with some items to run through. I really haven't gone through anything yet, but you can change the modes. You can change if you've got the lines on, whatnot. So system options, picture quality, all that good stuff. So we can go ahead and change all of these options too. So you can rotate it, of course, if you're mounting the camera or the display upside down, just a bunch of different options. So I think once we get this in and mounted somewhere I can actually press the buttons, we'll swing through this again. But otherwise, it looks like a pretty decent little camera so far. Change all of our color options there, so that's nice to have. You can change the camera 1, camera 2, whatnot. So now I'll go down and get Bob, bring him back up, camera and camera. Now I'll go get Bob, bring him up, and we will see how we can get this thing wired in there. Whew, taking a breezy walk down the driveway here. Yeah, we got the horsies, pasture's all greening up, the lawn's looking good, seeded stuff from our well work we had done last year, so I brought in some buckets of dirt and filled that. Hopefully that'll grow. Oh. Now essentially, hey, we're walking into where the shop will be, or at least the tack room. Hey, my gloves. I knew I lost those somewhere. Oh, all right. Let's go climb into Bob. Hey, there's my other set of gloves too. Oh, you just seem to lose stuff in here. All right. Oh, now that we're in Bob, on the more feature-rich models, you'd have the display, the digital display over here with the built-in camera, as well as your other controls. Your push button start and everything. But for us, we don't have that. We're just going to put our display right up here because clearly this little mirror does not cut it for looking out the back. So, but from one of the earlier videos, you can see I did go through and clean up everything in here. All these vents are nice and clean now. You can see them. They're not caked full of dust and dirt. Got a nice Bobcat keychain from a buddy of mine who happens to work Bobcat plant up in North Dakota. So thank you. And otherwise, let's go get Bob in the garage. And there we go, your ride has come to an end. Man, I left Bob outside and he's peeing. How rude. Just water draining out of the bottom of the frame, but hey, still rude. Anyways, real quick, you can see the decals I threw on. Those are still adhered, so that's nice. Back here still looks pretty nice. I didn't replace these light fixtures, lens covers and stuff. I should have, but you know, it's an extra 60 bucks. Why? New backup buzzer installed. The old one worked. It was just super quiet. So I guess I went around and used it a lot last weekend and only noticed just a tad bit of weepage around the main seals and the rear cylinders here. Just this one primarily. Otherwise, everything else seems really tight. So for, you know, 8,000 hours, I guess I'm not going to complain a whole lot. Oh, let's take a look at our display here. Let's see where we can go put Mr. Display. Look at that big old bucket. Oh, full of dirt and manure. All right. So, like I said, in the factory models, your big display would be over here. But I think in interest of looking straight on and not being crooked to the side, I'm going to set it up here if I can find a way to get the mounting bracket to fit properly. That way it's always going to be there. It actually kind of works like a decent rear view mirror when it's powered off. That's not so bad. So I guess what I'll do is figure out if I can make that mounting fit here. And if I can't, I guess I'll revert to building a bracket to fit over here. But it would really be nice to keep it front and center here. So that's our plan. The other nice thing, well, the radio, factory radio would have been down here. That's a silly place to put it. But behind this little cubby here is the factory power harness for the radio. So my plan is to take and run the power up this pillar up here. So that should be a no-brainer. I've already found that. Oh, I can show you too. And I got cigarette lighter power down here too. Pop goes the air freshener. But here is my outlet for the radio. And if I do need a cell phone charger, so that's actually rather crusty, but hey, we'll see. So now we've got that figured out where we think we're going to put it. Let's take a look at the camera itself and where we're going to put that. And not step in any manure. Okay. So see if we can disconnect this more easily. There we go. So here's our camera. And Bob's still peeing. So on the factory models, they go and put the camera right about here. So my goal is to do the same, and then you've got a hole drilled through for the cable, and then that snakes in behind the door here. My other option I could do is put it back here on this plate. I wouldn't have to be drilling through this giant steel door or dealing with running cables around back here. But I am more or less above the engine more, so I've got more wiring to contend with back here. But I wouldn't have as big of a plate to drill through. Still got to replace this bolt over here, which is broken. So those are my two options, either set it back here or set it back here. I think just to keep with consistency for the regular factory models, I'm going to set it back here and go with that. And the fun part from there comes in running the wires, of course, through here. That's not a big deal, but I've got to get through here up by the engine up past the pumps and under here, and tip the cab up again and find the main wiring loom that comes through from the back end of the machine into the cab. That's probably going to be the most challenging thing to do. It's not difficult, it's just tedious in figuring out where to run wires, because I don't want to be making any holes in the cab, of course, and I don't want to have any loose wires just dangling around back here. Now granted, it is just this one cable. As I drop the camera, it is just this one cable, which makes things really nice. I don't have to run separate feeds for power and video signal. I do have to get it through here. So that is my next task. Otherwise, you can see after running it for a couple hours, everything is still nice and dry back here. I don't have any leaks. Only thing is a little bit of rainwater that came in, but there's no drips of hydraulic stuff. Former owners lubricated the snot out of it. So that's good. Yeah, no complaints for the machine so far. Just need to get this camera installed, so I guess that's what I will start figuring out how to do. Once we get the cab up and find the wiring, we'll come back and start running wires. All right, so we are back, and I've got my 1, 2 holes and the center hole marked where the bracket is going to go. So I'm going to punch these and then just start opening up the holes with the drill, and be able to get our location for a mounting bracket back here. All right, I came through here with a punch just to make some punch marks here so I can hit it with the small bit and we don't end up dancing all over the steel with the small bit. And I went in here, I have my carbon tip bits, and actually the maiden voyage of the new DeWalt drill. My old one I've had for 20 years finally gave out, so here we go. And there we go. There's our biggest hole I can make with 1/2 inch. Well, here we go. I've got my step bit, a handy dandy item to have. So we'll see if we can go through. Looks like here's our 1/2 inch mark. We'll try and go up just a hair more and see if we can fit that cable through. Of course, it's in the way. Almost. Yeah, there we go. That fits through perfect. So I've got to go ahead and undo the bracket that holds the buzzer in directly underneath. Then I can drill up from the bottom so I don't open it too far on top. If I have the right size wrench. Now, everything should fit nicely through here. Perfect. So what I'm going to do now is get this cleaned up and put some primer in these holes, and then I'll be able to go ahead and attach that bracket. So we'll get that in and come back. Well, I appear to have shot that whole last bit on still photo mode, so that doesn't work. Anyways, what I did is I took the took the mounting plate for the camera and attached it to the holes I had back here. And I did put some double-sided tape on this bracket as well. I do have nuts and bolts, some nylocks on the back side, and inch-long screws in the front. But I just wanted something additional to help against vibration, and that certainly is going to be it. Not so much vibration on the camera, but just vibration metal on metal for rubbing off the paint and becoming a point of rust in the future. So I'm going to go grab the camera, we'll fit it in here, and we'll probably call it a night. We'll see. You know, I'm kind of a moron. I said I was going to go get the camera, but the camera's right here, attached to the end of the cord. Go figure. That must mean it's about time to pack it up for tonight. So, while I'm still here and have some of my wits about me, we'll go ahead and mount Mr. Camera. So you can see what that will look like when it's all said and done. Yes, I'm a lefty, forgive me. Don't hold it against me. Try and find left-handed pliers in the store. They look at you real funny. All right. So for now, here is Mr. Camera. We do have adjustment up and down, so I will adjust that once the camera is in. And it's on there centered and level. The biggest thing you're going to find between an aftermarket like this and the ones from the factory is the factory models with camera, they have a steel cage over the top of here. So I don't think I'm going to be doing anything heavy duty enough to warrant that. I mean, this is going to move hay and manure and snow. So I don't think I need that. If I do, I'm sure I can have one made or make one myself and bolt onto here with no problem. But for right now, we're going to leave this sit, go park them back down the hill, and we'll come back for our next day when we try and run all the wiring through here up into the cab and then get it wired up. I believe we have the placement where we're going to put the display, so as long as we can get the wires up there, that should be just fine. So until then, stay safe, have a good time, like and subscribe below, tell your friends, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.